tell us about fornication under the consent of the king.
Okay, let's talk that.
Yes.
So, for me as an artist, let me just preface this. For me as an artist, it was very important that I be understood as far as my ability, not just bubblegum anything when I first made music. So I made music like my poetry, music that connected to what I had been going through in that space in my life. Very a Kanye album of sorts, you know? That's what my first album was. And of course, the first album was early on in my development, finding your voice, understanding all these different elements. So it's not my most polished creation, but it's one of my most proud because it speaks. If I were to make that a lyric book and someone just sit down with those lyrics, there's so much in there, specifically surrounding dealing with love and heartbreak. But excuse me, from that point came Interspace. And Interspace was this experimentation of this middle place. It was in many parts introspective, but in other parts bossy, in other parts carnal. It was the what I felt was the representation of a full scale of where I was in that time, who I was in that time.
Yeah.
So for me, after that, I knew I wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to make fun music, right? And it was Three's Company that birthed Fornication under Consent of the King.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I really played with expressing myself in a brash way, talking how I talk. You know, you watch my lives, I don't code words, I say dick, you know? So it was very, let me be me in a different way. Let me show a different side of who I am. And from that point, as I started to create, because you know, when you start in a project, you have an idea, like a very loose idea of where you want this to go. It's a feeling. It's not something you can put on paper yet. It's just a feeling. And you start trying to find the things that the beats and the concepts that make you feel what it is you're looking to feel. And as I really started to create, there were these certain themes, this certain bossiness, this certain sexual confidence, this certain personal awareness about who you are that was shining through in my lyricism on my tracks. That's what I was writing about. And from that point, I knew what I was creating. This was my step out project. This was the other side. What I wanted to create was, once I had this concept, what I wanted to create was something that felt like a sexually liberating experience. Something that didn't feel like smut. This is not porn.
Right.
This is sex art.
Yeah.
This is you being able to sonically tune into something that makes you feel sexual, but then it's lyrical as well. It's not a brain dead experience of just your loins, but it's all the things being awakened at once in a way that it feels different than what you're used to hearing. You know, Yin Yang Twins made sexual music, but were Yin Yang Twins sexy about it? You know, no. So there's a certain brashness meets the allure, the smoothness, the art intention that I wanted to create, you know? And that's why in the end, it was named Fornication Under the Consent of the King, because this is truly what I wanted this to represent. I wanted this to, you know, permit you to feel carnal and feel sexual and embrace your sexuality and give music. Cause I like that kind of music, you know, I like that very bossy, sexually bossy type of music. But it usually comes from women.
I was getting ready to say it.
It usually comes from women. Mm-hmm. And anytime I've been able to connect to it, I was turning on Little Kim, or I was turning on Kaya, or I was turning on these. I could go to Yin Yang Twins, but Yin Yang Twins he was going to give me a vibe of the energy without going all the way there, you know? And I was like, I want to take it all the way there. Like Kim took it all the way there, but I want to take it there as a nigga. I want to give dudes who think like me, who have that little spice, you know what I'm saying? But their delivery isn't going to be in such a flamboyant way. Let me give them music to identify with. And for other people, if me as a man could identify with Little Kim, then there's no reason why someone as a different type of person than me can identify with this. It's all carnal.
Absolutely.
You can choose who you are in the story or which character you want to play when you rap it. But nonetheless, it's a story for you to have a good time with,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. My God, I love like that. Like, I know everybody's watching. That's the first time you really just started going. And it's because
Yeah.
I'm talking about something that is just so innately you. It's so
Yeah.
innately you. Like literally, I love what you said because the industry leaves that to the women. The women are glorified for taking it all the way there. The Dojas, the Megan Thee Stallions, the Cardis, the Cash Dolls, the
Mm-hmm.
Suki Hanas. You know, I'm naming people. I hope I didn't. I left a lot of people out. Money Long. You know, these just all these women, and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. Like it's okay for Suki to not only put out a hit about food stamps or something, you know, and be talking
Right.
about you gonna pay for this cat, you gonna pay for this cat, but then take it to Pornhub and give you another music video that
Yes.
is very all the way there and be praised for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, and I feel like, first of all, you've already said this, men are worse than women. We what? What? Like we go there and
Yeah.
and more so, more so. So to not have music that represents those times, and it's because society keeps trying to frown upon that. They keep
Yeah.
trying, don't do that. Be upstanding. Be a gentleman. Gentle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, who am I trying to be soi gentile for when I'm about to take down my lover?
Correct.
Why would I need to be soi gentile
Correct.
in that moment?
Correct.
Like it's so yeah, and that's one thing about you. Even in public, you carry yourself a certain way. You know, the bar is set very high. But when you get into that musical mode, that's when the clothes come off.
Correct.
And metaphorically.
And that is what we are as humans.
Yes.
You know, and that's why I wanted to make it, because this is who we are.
Yes.
We all you can be as suave and demure and person and the way you carry yourself in the world, but you're carnal when you have sex. Everyone is carnal. And if you're not carnal around people, it's because you are suppressing something. So this is our truth. This is just as much a side of who we are as a love album.
Yes.
And when it's created in art, not in smut. So you can come here, feel comfortable, let your guard down a little bit. All we're going to do is talk about what you really do, what you really think, and how you really feel. Yeah. And now you have music to base it in, because what is music for aside from that? But to give us a verbal format of what is it that we feel. It helps us identify how we feel, you know? So I wanted to create something that expressed that for people. Sure, don't listen to it with your kids in the car, but as soon as they get out, it's a freeing experience to take that journey. And it's done in a way that has enough punchlines and enough razzle dazzle in it that this isn't just about sex.
Yes.
Sex is just our foundation as far as our freedom. This is representing your freedom. But we're going to cover many different things. I'm going to give you many different nuggets about how to move in this world based in your sexuality, your sexual power, even down to how you dealing with people. Get your bag, baby. Own your sexuality in a way that you use it for all of these things. So it's about the art of it. Yeah, the art of sex, the art of freedom.
Yes. And that's the thing. Like, even as you were talking, I was thinking I'm listening and I'm like, you know, whenever we suppress sexuality in beings and in our teenagers and in our, you know, lives, disasters happen.